The Central Intelligence Agency is a civilian foreign intelligence service of the United States federal government tasked with gathering, processing and analyzing national security information from around the world, primarily through the use of human intelligence. As one of the principal members of the U.S. Intelligence Community, the CIA reports to the Director of National Intelligence and is primarily focused on providing intelligence for the President and Cabinet. Unlike the Federal Bureau of Investigation, which is a domestic security service, CIA has no law enforcement function and is mainly focused on overseas intelligence gathering, with only limited domestic collection. Though it is not the only U.S. government agency specializing in HUMINT, CIA serves as the national manager for coordination and deconfliction of HUMINT activities across the entire intelligence community. Moreover, CIA is the only agency authorized by law to carry out and oversee covert action on behalf of the President, unless the President determines that another agency is better suited for carrying out such action. It can, for example, exert foreign political influence through its tactical divisions, such as the Special Activities Division. Before the Intelligence Reform and Terrorism Prevention Act, CIA Direct concurrently served as the head of the intelligence community. Today these functions and authorities reside with the Director of National Intelligence. Despite transferring some of its powers to the DNI, the CIA has grown in size as a result of the September 11th terrorist attacks. In 2013, The Washington Post reported that in fiscal year 2010, the CIA had the largest budget of all IC agencies, exceeding previous estimates. The CIA has increasingly expanded its roles, including covert paramilitary operations. One of its largest divisions, the Information Operations Center, has shifted focus from counter-terrorism to offensive cyber operations. While the CIA has had some recent accomplishments, such as locating Osama bin Laden and taking part in the successful Operation Neptune Spear, it has also been involved in controversial programs such as extraordinary rendition and enhanced interrogation techniques. Purpose. When the CIA was created, its purpose was to create a clearinghouse for foreign policy intelligence and analysis. Today its primary purpose is to collect, analyze, evaluate, and disseminate foreign intelligence, and to perform covert actions. According to its fiscal 2013 budget, the CIA has 5 priorities. Counterterrorism, the top priority, given the ongoing global war on terror. Non-proliferation of nuclear and other weapons of mass destruction, with North Korea described as perhaps the most difficult target. Warning: informing American leaders of important overseas events, with Pakistan described as an intractable target. Counterintelligence, with China, Russia, Iran, Cuba, and Israel described as priority targets. Cyberintelligence. Organizational structure. The CIA has an executive office and 5 major directorates: the Directorate of Digital Innovation, the Directorate of Analysis, the Directorate of Operations, the Directorate of Support, the Directorate of Science and Technology. Executive Office. The Director of the Central Intelligence Agency reports directly to the Director of National Intelligence. In practice, the Director deals with the DNI, Congress, and the White House, while the Deputy Director is the internal executive. The Executive Office also supports the U.S. military by providing it with information it gathers, receiving information from military intelligence organizations, and cooperating on field field activities. The executive director is in charge of the day-to-day operation of the CIA, and each branch of the service has its own director. The associate director of military affairs, a senior military officer, manages the relationship between the CIA and the Unified Combatant Commands, who produce regional operational intelligence and consume national intelligence. Directorate of Analysis. The Directorate of Analysis produces all-source intelligence investigation on key foreign and intercontinental issues, relating to powerful and sometimes anti-government sensitive topics. It has 4 regional analytic groups, 6 groups for transnational issues, and 3 focus on policy, collection, and staff support. There is an office dedicated to Iraq, and regional analytical offices covering the Near Eastern and South Asian analysis, the Office of Russian and European Analysis, and the Office of Asian Pacific, Latin American, and African Analysis and African Analysis. Directorate of Operations. The Directorate of Operations is responsible for collecting foreign intelligence mainly from clandestine HUMINT sources, and covert action. The name reflects its role as the coordinator of human intelligence activities among other elements of the wider U.S. intelligence community with their own HUMINT operations. This directorate was created in an attempt to end years of rivalry over influence, philosophy and budget between the United States Department of Defense and the CIA. In spite of this, the Department of Defense recently organized its own global clandestine intelligence service, the Defense Clandestine Service, under the Defense Intelligence Agency. This directorate is organized by geographic regions and issues, but the precise present organization of this directorate is classified. Directorate of Science and Technology. The Directorate of Science and Technology was established to research, create, and manage technical collection disciplines and equipment. Many of its innovations were transferred to other intelligence organizations, or, as they became more overt, to the military services. For example, the development of the U-2 high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft was done in cooperation with the United States Air Force. The U-2's original mission was clandestine imagery intelligence over denied areas such as the Soviet Union. It was subsequently provided with signals intelligence and measurement and signature intelligence capabilities, and is now operated by the Air Force. Imagery intelligence collected by the U-2 and reconnaissance satellites was analyzed by a DS and AMPT organization called the National Photo Interpretation Center, which had analysts from both the CIA and the military services. Subsequently, NPIC was transferred to the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. Directorate of Support. The Directorate of Support has organizational and administrative functions to significant units including the Office of Security, the Office of Communications, the Office of Information Technology. Training. The CIA established its first training facility, the Office of Training and Education, in 1950. Following the end of the Cold War, the CIA's training budget was slashed, which had a negative effect on employee retention. In response, Director of Central Intelligence George Tenet established CIA University in 2002. CIA University holds between 200 and 300 courses each year, training both new hires and experienced intelligence officers, as well as CIA support staff. The facility works in partnership with the National Intelligence University, and includes the Sherman Kent School for Intelligence Analysis, the Directorate of Analysis component of the university. For later stage training of student operations officers, there is at least one classified training area at Camp Perry, near Williamsburg, Virginia. Students are selected, and the progress evaluated, in ways derived from the OST published as the book Assessment of Men, Selection of Personnel for the Office of Strategic Services. Additional mission training is conducted at Harvey Point, North Carolina. The primary training facility for the Office of Communications is Warrenton Training Center, located near Warrenton, Virginia. The facility was established in 1951 and has been used by the CIA since at least 1955. Budget. Details of the overall United States intelligence budget are classified under the Central Intelligence Agency Act of 1949. The Director of Central Intelligence is the only federal government employee who can spend unvouchered government money. The government has disclosed a total figure for all non-military intelligence spending since 2007. The fiscal 2013 figure is $52.6 billion. According to the 2013 mass surveillance disclosures, the CIA's fiscal 2013 budget is $14.7 billion, 28% of the total and almost 50% more than the budget of the National Security Agency. CIA's HUMINT budget is $2.3 billion. The SIGINT budget is $1.7 billion, and spending for security and logistics of CIA missions is $2.5 billion. Covert action programs, including a variety of activities such as the CIA's drone fleet and anti-Iranian nuclear program activities, accounts for $2.6 billion. There were numerous previous attempts to obtain general information about the budget. As a result, it was revealed that CIA's annual budget in fiscal year 1963 was $550 million, and the overall intelligence budget in FY 1997 was $26.6 billion. There have been accidental disclosures. For instance, Mary Margaret Graham, a former CIA official and Deputy Director of National Intelligence for Collection in 2005, said that the annual intelligence budget was $44 billion, and in 1994 Congress accidentally published a budget of $43.4 billion in 1994 for the non-military National Intelligence Program, including $4.8 billion for the CIA. After the Marshall Plan was approved, appropriating $13.7 billion over 5 years. 5% of those funds, or $685 million, were made available to the CIA employees. Polygraphing. Robert Baer, a CNN analyst and former CIA operative, stated that normally a CIA employee undergoes a polygraph examination every 3 to 4 years. Relationship with other intelligence agencies. The CIA acts as the primary U.S. HUMINT and general analytic agency, under the Director of National Intelligence, who directs and coordinates the 16-member organizations of the United States Intelligence Community. In addition, it obtains information from other U.S. government intelligence agencies, commercial information sources, and foreign intelligence services. U.S. agencies. CIA employees form part of the National Reconnaissance Office workforce, originally created as a joint office of the CIA and U.S. Air Force to operate the spy satellites of the U.S. military. The Special Collections Service is a joint CIA and National Security Agency office that conducts clandestine electronic surveillance in embassies and hostile territory throughout the world. Foreign intelligence services. The role and functions of the CIA are roughly equivalent to those of the United Kingdom's Secret Intelligence Service, the Australian Secret Intelligence Service, the Egyptian General Intelligence Service, the Russian Foreign Intelligence Service, the Indian Research and Analysis Wing, the Pakistani Inter-Services Intelligence, the French Foreign Intelligence Service Direction Générale de la Sécurité Extérieure, and Israel's Mossad. While the preceding agencies both collect and analyze information, some, like the U.S. State Department's Bureau of Intelligence and Research, are purely analytical agencies. The closest links of the U.S.IC to other foreign intelligence agencies are to Anglophone countries, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom. There is a special communications marking that signals that intelligence-related messages can be shared with these four countries. An indication of the United States' close operational cooperation is the creation of a new message distribution label within the main U.S. military communications network. Previously, the marking of NOFORN required the originator to specify which, if any, non-U.S. countries could receive the information. A new ending caveat, USA, Oz, CAN, GBR, NZL5 IS, used primarily on intelligence messages, gives an easier way to indicate that the material can be shared with Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, and New Zealand. The task of the division, called Verbindungsstelle 61, of the German Bundesnachrichtendienst is keeping contact to the CIA office in Wiesbaden. Ireland's Directorate of Military Intelligence liaises with the CIA, although it is not a member of the Five Eyes.